So this is why the move down in the DAX is a much tougher one to get going, much tougher one to sustain, whereas the one in the Bund, much smoother. Once it starts falling, the move speeds up, you see much more aggression, much more willingness to actually sell into lows, whereas the DAX, a lot more cautious in the sell. So here we go, DAX is in the middle here. We just hit 8 o'clock, so just hit the cash open. We're progressing lower. So this is your early sell, and I've seen these type of moves before where what effectively happens is you get this sell, but then it allows the market back up, and then as it bounces, the sell comes back again. What this feels like is that someone early on has got an order, or they've got a position that they need to get done, either to get in or to get out of this position. And what they do is every time it bounces, the pressure comes back in. There's a bit more of a sell, but it's not really sustaining the move. There's no continued flow as it gets lower. Every time it drops lower, it sort of lets off and lets it bounce back up. So not the strongest of selling. You then get the DAX bouncing right the way back up to 40s, and this is the area then to watch out for. This is where the sellers are quite happy to come back in and try and sell it. So there we go, up towards 40, 41. And watch the volume start to build up in this area. Every time we move up there, sellers are coming back. They sell to the bids. They sit on the offer and absorb. So now up to 110 traded at 40s, now up to 110 traded at 39.5. And so this is clearly the area where the selling's coming in. We'll see a contrast to this in the Bund in a moment, that whilst the selling's coming in this area, what it's not doing is then taking the initiative and selling to 38, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's not doing that. It's happy to accumulate. We've now done 150 at virtually every price, or for 4 prices there. So a lot of positions getting done. Now there's a little bit of an attempt to push lower. And so this is where we should progress lower. There we go, down to 30s. Now what you'd be looking for is on a bounce, the selling to keep on coming in. But it doesn't seem to, it doesn't maintain that pace. Every time you drop, the pace falls out of it. Lets it bounce and the selling comes back in. So we go down towards the 30s in the DAX, still not really pushing this move a great deal, and then letting it bounce higher. Another key thing to watch on this is whenever you're watching a move lower that's going to be more sustained, that I would call a more aggressive and momentum-filled move, is consistently going to bounce to a lower price, rather than what we're seeing here, where this, after every sell, is allowed to bounce higher up. So there's not sort of this consistent lower high on every bounce. See, there we go. We initially off the lows bounced to 32s, now it's 36s, 7s. We're still going to be looking back up to 40s for that key area for where the selling's coming in. And what then ends up happening is the DAX eventually gets through 40s, and particularly once it gets through 46, that's then where the pace comes in, as people realise that this selling has probably got its business done. So rather than it being a reload as such, it's not reloading one price and continually selling one price. But what's happening is there's a consistent willingness to sell as it bounces rather than to sell as the move falls. We'll contrast that with the Bund. I'll just skip this just forward a little bit. And what you get in the Bund here, there we go, you've seen it down towards 58. So getting down to the lows, these key lows just here, 56 and 57. Now what's happened here in the Bund, there you're seeing a reload. Reload 600, 700 on the offer at 58. So you get a little trade up to 59, 500 trades into 59, the offer stays there. So a bit like the DAX, we're starting to see that someone wants to sell this. DAX back up to the 40s area and the selling keeps coming. But instead of there being a sort of weakness in the willingness to sell, that at least initially, They are just trying to reload. But what they've not done is pushed it down and let it bounce to reload. The market's fallen and they're reloading the low. Now it trades 470 into 57s, offered. This is where you're thinking, right, there is definitely a willingness to sell here. Little buy back up towards 58 and straight away back on the offer. Sell straight to 57. This is showing a much more aggressive move down, a willingness to sell into everything that's there. So if you're short, this is where you could be thinking about the potential to add. If we start getting selling coming in at 56s now, having reloaded the lows, there we go, 650 sells 56s. Let's skip back up. Do we get any trade into 56? No. So it's taken that, sold everything to the bid, taken it offered, any bounce, the offers continue to come lower. This is a much more momentum filled move. This is the kind of thing that you're looking for, that you would have been looking for on the DAX. No willingness or no ability to let this bounce. Everything that buys is hit again and again and again. And the main difference here is not just the way that they're trading, that's the visual difference and the bit that suggests that this is a better move than this. But this to a degree was expected. The Bund has got space to fall. The DAX hasn't. The DAX is going to be running into buyers all the way down here, whereas the Bund, how many buyers are going to be there? We've just broken the last 2 days' lows. Why would you be buying it just below the low? And so whilst both are offering a sell opportunity, you've got to think about where other people are going to be positioned on this and what other people are going to be thinking. This is what makes the DAX move lower harder, and that sell feels like it's constantly trying to force the move and getting nowhere, whereas the Bund selling is selling to people who sit there, get taken, and then move out of the way. Sit, get taken, and move out of the way once more. So basically the same type of move, very different setup in terms of the way this sells off. The DAX, incidentally, when it went to the upside, again felt like it was just sort of struggling a bit as it went. There was a bit of panic in the move that broke out towards the upside, but then even that wouldn't sort of push on. It found a little base and then wouldn't keep on going. So very similar move in both directions in the DAX. Bund, however, much more sustained sell. It's only once it then starts coming back through the 52s that this move turns back over. But eventually we do once more get the move down towards 34s, 35s in the end.